Let us pray. Come, Holy Spirit of God, fill the hearts of your faithful people and kindle in them the fire of your love. Send forth your Spirit, and they shall be given new life. Great and eternal God, look down upon us gathered here in this important hour in the history of this university. Give to her upon whose shoulders the heavy burden of office is to be placed, wisdom to guide, foresight to plan, patience and courage to persevere to fulfillment. Give to all who are her colleagues a spirit of loyalty and cooperation, that in the midst of us there may continue to dwell that charity which looks ever to the good of the corporate body, the university as a whole, and the individual student as well, so that through their dedication all may be drawn to the truth. This we ask of you through our Lord Jesus Christ, who is the way, the truth, and the life.
Your Grace, the Chancellor, it is my privilege to present to you, on behalf of the Board of Governors of Mount St. Vincent University, Dr. Naomi Hersom, an internationally recognized educator and a researcher on women's issues, as the new president of this university. Before coming to the Mount, Dr. Hersom was Dean of the College of Education at the University of Saskatchewan. She is a member of numerous professional and learned societies, of which I will name only a few. They include the UNESCO Status of Women Subcommission, the Canadian Research Institute for the Advancement of Women, the Social Science Federation of Canada, Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council, the InterVarsity Christian Fellowship of Canada, the Canadian Society for the Study of Education, and the Canadian Education Association. Dr. Hersom is also a Fellow of the Canadian College of Teachers. She was born in Winnipeg and graduated from the University of Manitoba with a Bachelor of Arts, a Bachelor of Education, and a Master's of Education. Later, she obtained a PhD from the University of Alberta and then spent the next 5 years there in its Department of Education. Following that, she moved to the Faculty of Education at the University of British Columbia as Director of Elementary Education and later as Associate Dean of Education. In 1981, she took up her studies as Professor and Dean of the College of Education at the University of Saskatchewan. And from there, we are delighted that she has chosen to come to Mount St. Vincent University. We are very honored to have her here as our 7th president.
Do you, Naomi Hersom, pledge yourself to perform the duties of the President of Mount St. Vincent University as prescribed by law and the statutes of the university? And do you promise to defend the rights and to promote the welfare of the university and the members thereof?
I will endeavor so to do with the help of God.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I duly install you, Dr. Naomi Hersom, as President of Mount St. Vincent University, with all the rights and responsibilities pertaining to that high office. And I ask Dr. Judith Gold, as Chair of the Board of Governors, to invest you with the robe of office. Okay.
Your Grace, the Chancellor, I'm very pleased to introduce representatives from associations and universities who will come forward and extend greetings to Dr. Hersom. Sister Paul Canton, General Superior, Sisters of Charity of St. Vincent de Paul.
Most Reverend Chancellor, Madam President, Your Honor, the Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Minister, distinguished guests, governors, alumni, faculty, students, staff, and friends of Mount St. Vincent University. It is G.K. Chesterton who reminds us that tradition means giving votes to the most obscure of all classes, our ancestors. As we assemble this day to celebrate a new beginning in the life of Mount St. Vincent University, we are heartened by its rich heritage. The vision which illuminated the path of countless women whose courage and undaunted commitment to the higher education of women has made this institution a reality. As we focus on the future and its possibilities, it is with a sense of hope that I welcome your leadership, Dr. Hersom, as the 7th President of Mount St. Vincent University. You have accepted to re-articulate for your time the dream and the vision that your predecessors, faith-filled women, had for this university. To you is entrusted the responsibility to ensure that what was begun through their initiative and carried on with perseverance and fortitude through 61 years will continue to flourish. Naomi, united with you in heart and mind, we Sisters of Charity, proud founders of Mount St. Vincent University, send you forth to accomplish the task at hand. And in the words of the prophet Habakkuk, we urge you, write the vision down, inscribe it on the tablets to be easily read, since this vision is for its own time only. Eager for its own fulfillment, it does not deceive. If it comes slowly, wait, for come it will without fail.
Dr. David Johnston, Principal and Vice-Chancellor, McGill University.
Your Grace, the Chancellor, Your Honor, Dr. Hersom, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with great pleasure, I bring greetings to this assembly and to Dr. Hersom on behalf of the 82-member Association of Universities and Colleges of Canada and the 300-plus members of the Association of Commonwealth Universities. In bringing those greetings, we recognize that this is a day of celebration, a day of renewal, a day when the cause of the advancement of learning may be reinforced in a glorious fashion. Dr. Hersom and her university join a cause and a company which are very good. A cause which is good because the cause is the advancement of learning, and the company, a company that is good because it is peopled with people who believe passionately and idealistically in the advancement of learning and work with great skill for that cause. 1,500 years ago, St. Augustine said, "If you wish to judge the quality of a city, look to see what it cherishes." I hope that all here on this day and henceforward will cherish the special contribution of this university and will cherish the advancement of learning that it represents. In the Association of Canadian Universities and the Association of Commonwealth Universities, one feature above all is particularly precious, and that is the diversity and the uniqueness of the many different member institutions. From that diversity, from those different approaches to the advancement of learning, comes much good fruit. None is more unique, nor more distinctive, nor more precious than this university. If I have one request in this message of greetings, it is that you will cherish the leadership of this outstanding person, Dr. Hersom, that you will support her, and with her, this university will see and receive the greatest fulfillment over these next years as it too pursues in its distinctive way the advancement of learning.
Dr. Kenneth Osmond, President, St. Mary's University.
Your Grace, Your Honor, Honorable Minister, Your Worship, members of the Board and Senate, distinguished guests, faculty, and graduates. The Atlantic Association of Universities is composed of the 18 degree-granting institutions in the Atlantic provinces and the University of the West Indies. It represents the interests of many thousands of full and part-time students and their professors. More importantly, we represent the abiding interest society has in transmitting its knowledge and its wisdom and in extending the boundaries of those attributes. Mount St. Vincent University, as one of our founding members, has contributed greatly to the work and the vitality of the association for many years. One of the strengths of our association lies in the fact that while we work closely together, we studiously avoid giving unsolicited advice to presidential search committees. Thus, as is our custom, we did not participate in the selection process at this university. Our association, however, has no prohibitions against giving unsolicited advice to governments, premiers, ministers, commissions, and others, whether they want it or not. Thus, we do have a deep and abiding interest in who our presidential allies in these efforts will be. We're pleased to note that even without our advice, the Board of Governors of this university and the university community have given us a strong and capable ally for which we're most grateful. My presidential colleagues and sister institutions in the Atlantic Association of Universities join me not only in congratulating Mount St. Vincent on this very happy occasion, but in expressing warm greetings and best wishes to Dr. Hersom and her university on this special day. Thank you.
Dr. Jane Gordon, President, Mount St. Vincent University Faculty Association.
Most Reverend Chancellor, Your Honor, Dr. Hersom, and distinguished guests. It gives me great pleasure to bring greetings to Naomi Hersom from the faculty of Mount St. Vincent University. Faculty were involved in the selection of this president to a greater extent than ever before at the Mount, and appreciate the consultative process under which this happened. That Dr. Hersom's arrival is the consequence speaks well for the process. In the short time we have known her, and indeed even before she officially arrived as president, Dr. Hersom has shown herself to be committed to discussion and consultation in the conduct of her business. Her request for time with the Faculty Association executive during her visit as president-elect last spring led us to appreciate her sensitivity, charm, and friendliness as a person, as well as her interest in what faculty saw to be the critical issues on campus. Dr. Hersom's background and experience illustrate concerns which parallel those of the Mount. She has long been interested in education and women. I had my first lengthy conversation with her at an annual conference of the Canadian Research Institute for the Advancement of Women. Our unique heritage and concerns at the Mount have been demonstrated in the activities and biography of our new president. Since her arrival on campus last summer, members of the faculty have been impressed with her willingness to consult with us. The consultation process has shown us a hardworking woman who cares not just about what she does, but about how she does it. It is not every university president who would take the trouble to call the president of the Faculty Association on a sunny, sleepy Sunday of Labor Day weekend. A new president is like a new child in the family, only more so. The new arrival must be fitted in to the operation of things as they are, but also brings her or his own style, personality, and concerns to the group. Our initial exposure to Dr. Hersom suggests she will be a valuable addition to our family, and, as her past experience demonstrates, has already shown strong commitment to our basic values and philosophy. We look forward to the future and the years of growing together. It is in this spirit that faculty congratulate you on your installation to the office of President of Mount St. Vincent University and officially welcome you to our ranks.
Susan Smith, President, Mount St. Vincent University Student Union.
Good afternoon. It's an exciting time, the installation of our new university president, Dr. Naomi Hersom. An exciting time not only for Dr. Hersom and members of the university and faculty, but also for the students. Already, Dr. Hersom has inspired the students with her presence. Her warm, sincere interest and concern for each and every Mount student has been a source of encouragement and support. Dr. Hersom's vitality and friendly, approachable nature has strengthened the bond of cooperative spirit and support between the university and the students. And as more and more students grow to know Dr. Hersom, I am sure that bond will continue to grow as students develop in their understanding of themselves and the university community in which Dr. Hersom has made them feel an important part. On behalf of the 4,000 students at Mount St. Vincent University, I congratulate you, Dr. Naomi Hersom, on your appointment as president of the Mount St. Vincent University. We are all looking forward to your continuing support and inspiration.
Mary Clancy, President, Mount St. Vincent Alumni Association.
Reverend Chancellor, Your Honor, Dr. Hersom, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. Mount St. Vincent University has been a pioneer in Canada. The university's unique place in the world of educating women has been established by those determined and visionary foundresses and sustainers who have brought us to our current position. How fitting it is that our 7th president comes to us from Western Canada, that land of pioneers. With Dr. Hersom, we will continue to break new ground in the education of women and the search for true equality through knowledge of our rights, our duties, and our abilities. Dr. Hersom, I speak on behalf of the thousands of women and men who make up the alumni of this Mount St. Vincent, and they join me in offering you our congratulations at your installation as our 7th president and our promise of our support in yours and the Mount's continued endeavors in the future.
Greg Coakley, Mount St. Vincent University Staff Association.
Most Reverend Chancellor, Madam President, members of Board of Governors, distinguished guests, faculty, and friends. Dr. Hersom, it is my privilege, on behalf of the support staff of Mount St. Vincent University, to offer you our congratulations on your installation as our new president. We of the support staff pledge our continued support and cooperation as we have given past presidents. We realize that your job may be difficult at times, but with our help, we hope to make your job a little easier in the running of the university. Once again, congratulations.
I now call upon visiting representatives from universities. The University of New Brunswick, Dr. Robert Burridge. University of King's College, Dr. John Godfrey. St. Mary's University, Dr. Kenneth Osmond. Dalhousie University, Dr. Howard Clark. McGill University, Dr. David Johnston. University of Toronto, Mary Martin. Acadia University, Dr. James Perkin. Mount Allison University, Dr. John Reed. Queen's University, Dr. David Smith. University of St. Michael's College, Sister Ellen Darty. University of Trinity College, Dr. Robert Painter. St. Francis Xavier University, Dr. Gregory McKinnon. Nova Scotia Teachers College, Margaret Swan. University of Windsor, Dr. William Currier. University of Winnipeg, Dr. Robin Farquhar. University of Manitoba, Dr. Arnold Neymark. Université de Montréal, Dr. Micheline Sainte-Marie. University of Western Ontario, Dr. K. George Pedersen. McMaster University, Dr. Barbara Hodkin. Université Sainte-Anne, Dr. Roseanne Rente. Nova Scotia Agricultural College, Dr. Herbert McCrae. Technical University of Nova Scotia, Leslie Yeager.
University of Nova Scotia.
University of Alberta, Sister Mary Therese Gavin. University of British Columbia, Dr. John Stagger. University of Saskatchewan, Dr. Gwenna Moss. Memorial University of Newfoundland, Dr. Michael Stavely. St. Paul's College, Jean Edmonds. St. Thomas More College, Dr. Donald Sheridan. Royal Roads Military College, Lieutenant Commander John Dewar. University of Waterloo, Dr. Kim Kineapple. Université de Moncton, Dr. Marielle Prefontaine. Trent University, Bruce Lake. Brock University, Dr. Alan Earp. University of Guelph, Dr. Susan Whiting. The Ontario Institute for Studies in Education, Dr. William Hare. The University of Calgary, Professor Margaret Hughes. Atlantic School of Theology, Dr. Eileen Schuler. University College of Cape Breton, Dr. William Reed. Concordia University, Dr. Carol Hill. Henry de Bolster. Your Grace, I now take great pleasure in inviting Dr. Naomi Hersom to deliver the installation address.
Your Honor, Most Reverend Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduands, alumni, and other friends of Mount St. Vincent University. This is one of those moments when I'm so glad when I looked underneath the podium here that the speech is here. So are the cough drops and the flashlight. I'd like to say something about the flashlight, particularly for Father Greg, because I was in Antigonish for an occasion of his on Saturday last, and when we got up on Sunday morning, there was no electricity in the town. And I thought, what would happen if we were in the midst of this installation ceremony and the power failed? So I have a flashlight. I'd like to begin by thanking all who arranged this occasion for the graduands and for me. All of you who have worked so hard have transformed plans into a reality. I'm thinking of all of those who are in the registrar's office, in the alumni office, the staff in my own office. I think of all those who are the real caregivers in our university, the housekeeping staff, the maintenance people, the gardeners, the people in food services, security personnel. I could go on and on. I do want to make special mention of those who were charged with the responsibility of this university, the members of the corporation, of the board, of the Senate, and governments. And I especially want to mention the Convocation Planning Committee, chaired by Dr. Olga Broomfield. Special thanks to you and to your colleagues, Olga. You have made this a joyful occasion into a remarkable celebration and a memory that the graduands and myself will cherish for many years. So thanks to all of you and to our colleagues and friends and members of our families who are here to rejoice with us today. We feel as though we are indeed surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses. As I listened to Judith in introducing me to you, I thought that now I'm going to have yet another designation, that of president, added to having been called in my time a principal, a professor, a director, and a dean. But in daily conversation, one is seldom referred to in that way. When I was a principal, I was known as the office. When I was a director at UBC, I was known as the 6th floor. When I got to the University of Alberta and was a dean, I was the 3rd floor, coming down a little in the world, I suppose. And now I am up the hill. But as Aileen Murphy said to me the other day, not over the hill, you're all right. I've entitled my address this afternoon, Risk-Taking and Responsibility. It is a temptation to take this as an occasion to address issues that are so prevalent in our universities across Canada today. Issues that revolve around budgets, sources of funding, technology, and the relationship between higher education and the economy. These are important issues. The needs to support research and teaching, the needs for space and equipment in our universities are pressing. But I choose not to focus on these today. Although pressing and vitally important, such needs must be placed in proper perspective. I do believe it is important for us first to affirm our purpose as a university and to develop a clear sense of what we should be. Without a strong sense of direction, we will very easily dissipate our energies. We could lose our distinctiveness as the only university in Canada committed primarily to the higher education of women, to enable them to participate fully and to be free to contribute much with men in our society. This distinctive role for Mount St. Vincent University stems from its earliest history, as you've heard. We must take particular care now not to drift from it. I say this because it appears that there is a dangerous trend for women and men to take for granted the gains hard-won by our predecessors, who worked and struggled long to ensure that women would be recognized as persons with intellectual capacities and ideas, to ensure that women would have access to opportunities to use these abilities and to be fairly rewarded. Our original purpose must continue to shape the course for the future of this university. It must be evident in the programs we provide for our men and women, in the focus of our scholarship through research and teaching, in the service we provide to all of the people of this province, this region, and throughout Canada, and in the ongoing opportunities we make available to ensure that no barriers exist for women's access to higher education, that no barriers exist for women's entrance to every sphere of public and professional concourse where women's talents and interests so ably fit them to contribute. We affirm this sense of direction based in the strong heritage that is ours at Mount St. Vincent University. The Sisters of Charity who founded this university were women of great vision and great determination. Theirs was a strength of spirit and commitment that enabled them to make the dream of creating a university to open the doors of opportunity for women into reality. Theirs was the vision to do this at a time when relatively few such opportunities existed anywhere. And they did this here in Halifax, in Atlantic Canada. Theirs also is the legacy of the Catholic tradition, which today invites us to examine the dimensions of our lives together as responsible members of this university community and as concerned citizens of the much larger world community. Such an inheritance cannot be allowed to dissipate. It must be reinvested in ways that grow with time and in ways that will expand and strengthen the vision of what the Mount can and will be. In the development of ideas, in the search to discover knowledge through the disciplines and various fields of study, there will always be deliberately selected starting points, sets of presuppositions and assumptions. Within the tradition of this university, there is freedom to acknowledge as one of those starting points the place of the transcendent in all of life. There is an invitation to take the transcendent into account in our scholarship. There is encouragement to explore the meaning of life together here and for all humanity. It is an immensely rich heritage of faith and one we must not lightly set aside. At the Mount, we are encouraged to explore this heritage through formal studies, through the deliberate examination of ethical concerns, through participation in campus ministry, and through such events as the Seton Lectures, which are held annually, an opportunity open for all of us during this coming week. As one who has engaged in the study of organizations, I've observed that those who write about organizational theory are often as guilty as scholars in any of the disciplines who search for elegantly parsimonious explanations of phenomena. At one point, organizational theorists thought that a general systems theory based on a biological model would best illumine our thinking about the ways organizations are formed, grow and mature, and eventually die off or renew themselves. Although that theory may be somewhat out of favor now, there remains merit in the attention it focuses on the tendency in any organizations, such as this university, to become static, to maintain its state, to resist change. The results can be disastrous. If all of the forces within this university were to be completely counterbalanced, we as a university would lose opportunities to take new directions within our mission and might very well lose the thrusts so valiantly defended in the past. The tendency to rest on our laurels is tempting. The tendency to forget the historical reasons for the need for special action on behalf of women can too easily be reinforced by taking achievements gained for granted, which leads to neglect and lack of resolve. Women and men who are not being informed now about our society and its past will be ill-equipped to contribute significantly to a strong future for women and thereby to a stronger society for all. Mount St. Vincent University's role must continue to emphasize its leadership in recognizing women in every sphere of scholarship and professional preparation, and in its efforts to enhance the lives of women everywhere. The university takes justifiable pride in the gains it has made in the field of women's studies and women's education. The first chair of women's studies in Canada was established here. The publication of Atlantis and a communique at Mount St. Vincent University have become internationally recognized avenues for the dissemination of research findings related to policies and to issues of special significance to women. The provision of counseling services, special academic support services, and classes scheduled at times and places that accommodate women students in particular has long been a practice at the university. But there is more to be done. The field of feminist scholarship is moving now into another stage. Feminist scholars, both women and men, are analyzing the content, the modes of inquiry within each of the disciplines and fields of study, and asking questions about the way knowledge is being defined. In a recently completed study, compelling evidence has been adduced revealing an historical denial of women's participation in the world of ideas and in the discovery of new knowledge. This denial of participation is challenged in part in the exhibition of works of art now showing in our art gallery, entitled In Her Place. May I invite all of you to view the evidence for yourselves when you come to the opening of the showing this evening. I maintain that it is not sufficient simply to add women and stir. We must move into the heart of the university in its teaching and scholarly functions if we are to continue to be in the forefront of higher education for women. It is clear, too, from the recent report of the Science Council of Canada that we, along with other universities, must extend our efforts to provide the appropriate facilities, programs, and support systems that will encourage more women to study the sciences and mathematics. Significantly, the particular professional preparation programs offered here at the Mount are those that are vital to the task of removing barriers for women from their earliest years into maturity. Research on families and schools and on those enterprises specifically engaged with serving the public in many different ways has helped to enlarge the expectations held by women for themselves and at every stage of their lives, and the expectations held for them by others, whether those others are family members or employers or policymakers in government. The Mount has contributed many of the changes that have taken place in Canada and abroad by pointing up ways to raise aspirations and to remove the limitations on prospects for women through our curriculum, our scholarly activities, our services, and the role models we provide. We must do even more. In all areas within our curriculum, there are opportunities to investigate whether or not we have taken sufficiently into account the contributions of women in every field of study and in the professions, whether or not we have removed sexist bias in our discourse and in the language of the classroom, whether or not we have eliminated sexist bias in our research designs and in the accounts and interpretations we prepare as a result of that research. We must be consistent. We still have much more work to do to develop curricula and to structure our programs in ways that recognize women and address women's ideas, and then put these into perspective through our teaching and research. It is not enough that we strive for justice for women if the system of justice itself has been blindfolded by its past. If injustice has been accorded to the status of right actions in a society, then there must be a voice on behalf of those affected by such injustice. Mount St. Vincent University has been and should continue to be an active, effective advocate. I believe that greatness in a university is not attributable to size or length of years alone. Rather, it is to be found in 4 distinguishing qualities. Firstly, it is to be found in the quality of the contributions a university makes to realms of knowledge, and to the ways this knowledge affects the lives of the people who are its graduates, and through them, the fabric of the society we serve. Mount St. Vincent University is relatively small and comparatively young as a university. Our determination to be an excellent undergraduate university is not inappropriate or foolish. It grows in part out of the special significance the Mount accords to women and to scholarship, and to the actions informed by that scholarship. It is reinforced in the lives of our faculty, our students and staff on campus, and in the lives of our alumni everywhere. The poet Yeats wrote, "In dreams lie responsibilities." The dreams we dream for Mount St. Vincent University are essential if we are to achieve greatness as a university. Our dreams call us to the task of taking up the responsibility of transforming them into realities. They lead us to risk entering into new ways of thinking, to risk challenging the status quo, to risk sacrificing our comfortable ways for others, to risk unpopular actions in support of justice and peace and the well-being of all, and of women in particular. To risk all of these in spite of opposition or indifference or fear of penalty. They take us well beyond a too facile notion of academic freedom. They challenge us to the task of assuming that high academic responsibility, which is partner to such freedom. Secondly, this university's aspiration to greatness is also to be found in its regard for all who become students at Mount St. Vincent. We make no unnecessary distinctions among students on the basis of age or on the basis of an arbitrary definition of course loads, even though such a policy may be costly for us because of certain funding arrangements. We at Mount St. Vincent University are, I believe, a sort of microcosm, a laboratory for the universities for the future in Canada. We are experimenting with ways to extend accessibility to a university education for women and men who are confronted with the twin barriers of geography and time-consuming responsibilities in the workplace or at home. Similarly, we are working out career provisions for faculty members who, for various reasons, are on assignments currently described as part-time. In both cases, Mount St. Vincent University is demonstrating that old myths about quality and excellence are evaporating in the light of the outstanding achievements of part-time students, so-called, and in the recognition earned by part-time faculty in teaching and in research. Growing out of our concerns for women's education has emerged a way of providing effectively for all, women and men and children, people whose needs are associated with life in a changing world. A willingness to take a radical approach to solving problems and an openness to the use of the available technology have demonstrated in our comparatively small setting what can be done to take a university into the 21st century. Thirdly, the Mount's pursuit of the quality of greatness as a university is characterized by a high regard for the importance of students as individuals, whether such recognition is fostered in class in person, or is mediated electronically through distance education programs, or is supported through many different kinds of services and activities provided by all members of faculty and staff. It is seen to be the key to the development of students' confidence in themselves as educated persons in their own right. The priority assigned to student, faculty, and staff relationships by their own accounts promotes in our students the confidence required to become good scholars, to enter the commerce of daily living on an equal footing with others, to develop the sense of knowing who they are and the sense of what their own place is and will be in the world. The Mount takes pride in providing the kind of nurturing role that current research is clearly showing to be needed in organizations in order to free women and men from the limitations imposed on them by the traditions and practices of the past. Fourthly, the stature of any great university is to be found in the largeness of its concern for those high principles that undergird the lives of individuals, families, and nations. The Mount, through its tradition, continues to wrestle with matters of faith and conscience. It is a tradition that advocates the search for justice as well as the discovery of new knowledge. It is a tradition that emphasizes the importance of avoiding the uncritical acceptance of ideas and practices. It is a tradition that stresses the importance of developing guidelines for making responsible judgments. We acknowledge a responsibility to demonstrate in our individual and our corporate lives as a university the quality of charity toward one another that our founders envisioned for the good of all. We have committed ourselves to work together for peace among nations, to ensure that the gift of life for all creation will not be snuffed out. We value the importance of preparing women and men to live and work as responsible, contributing individuals and as leaders wherever they may find their places. As the 7th president of Mount St. Vincent University, I am privileged to be given the opportunity to build on the mandate so ably molded by my predecessors. In a few short months, we can expect to see taking shape on this campus a new physical structure that quintessentially symbolizes the forward-thinking stance of this university. It will be a building that will combine resources for research, for the development and the dissemination of knowledge through teaching, and through the use of various forms of print and media communication. It will represent the leading edge of change in the more usual notions of the functions of a university. I am confident that the long record of experience at toppling traditional notions here at the Mount will stand us in good stead as we move into this new venture and as we explore ideas for other ventures in the future. This university has won recognition and support from the people of Nova Scotia and the people of Canada because it has risked being different. As Mount St. Vincent University fulfills its particular responsibilities for the education of and about women, its alumni, both women and men, and its faculty will continue to contribute ever more significantly through their participation and leadership in business and industry, in the professions, in scholarship, in politics and the arts, in religion, and in every sphere of worthwhile endeavor in our society. Today, I have spoken about some of the risks and responsibilities I believe we are facing as a university and as individual members within the university. I have spoken about my fear that the high tide of concern and energy that women and men here and throughout Canada have brought to the task of transforming our society at every level may recede once again, as it has done historically. Its force may once again be dissipated by neglect, and neglect engendered by an apathy that begets forgetfulness. Mount St. Vincent University stands against such a tide. It was founded to turn the tide of customary practice and generally accepted expectations for women. Attitudes held by women and held by others about women's capacities and prospects have been revolutionized in our day, quite literally. Opportunities for the education of women, once beyond reach, are now almost within grasp. Having risked much in the past, ours is the responsibility to persevere. The focus of our teaching and research, the excellence of our undergraduate programs, and our many services beyond the bounds of this campus should properly account for the ways that women contribute to knowledge and should consistently respect the qualities that men as well as women should learn to bring to daily discourse and decision-making to the benefit of all. Ours is the responsibility as well to uphold the tradition of this university that invites us freely to consider the knowledge which is to be found in seeking one greater than ourselves. In a day when our society is characterized by a kind of hyper-rationalization, we offer opportunities to explore much-needed alternative ways of thinking and alternative perspectives. An immense competence in the realm of technology is matched only by a pathetic failure to answer with mere human resources the basic questions about ourselves and the world we live in. We dare to reply to the age-old questions, whence then comes wisdom, and where does understanding dwell? By acknowledging that the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to shun evil, that is understanding. It is a privilege for me to join now with the graduands of 1986, the alumni, the faculty, the Board of Governors, and the corporation, all associated with Mount St. Vincent University, who together create its qualities and its greatness. I pledge myself today to the task of serving this university with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please refer to your program for the words of Gaudiamus, page 18. We invite you to sing enthusiastically with the graduates. In fact, the graduates are counting on your support, all of you. That is, all of you. So the Stadacona Band is here and will accompany us, and Mary Kelly, who stands nearby, will lead us in song. Mary.
Can you all please rise to join us?
Dr. Hersom,
It is my privilege to present to you the candidates for the collegiate honors of graduation. I attest that they have successfully completed the required course of study, and I ask that they be awarded the Certificate in Business Administration. On Minnie Hannah Bond. Frank Edward DeMont. Anne Marie Lord. Joan Ruth McDonald. The Certificate in Gerontology on Diane Marie Gorman. Deborah May Robertson. The Diploma in Executive Secretarial Studies on Joanne Dawn O'Brien. Gail Ann Woodward. The Diploma in Legal Secretarial Studies on Milla Ethel Craig. The Diploma in Medical Secretarial Studies on Sandra Louise Rodding. Your Grace, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates for the collegiate honors of graduation. I attest that they have successfully completed the required courses of study, and I ask that they be admitted to the baccalaureate degree. Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Bachelor of Arts on Linda Marie Antle.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you, Linda Marie, to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights and privileges and responsibilities of that degree.
Heather E. Bennett.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Joanna Erminy Burgess, with distinction.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Sharon Marie Digdon.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Susan Ann Emerson.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Mary Ann Fisher.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Janice Elizabeth Gavin, with distinction.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Cheryl Ruth Leon, with distinction and with highest aggregate.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Brenda Louise Daigle McKinnon.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Regina Veronica McMillan.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Alora Leigh Mackay.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Margaret McGonigal McMullen.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Michelle Ann Nearing.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations, Michelle.
Carolyn Jean Nicholson.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Susan Karen Noble.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Joanne Marie Rivet.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Shanda DJ Scott.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Valerie Jean Schaffner with distinction.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Avril Z. Van Vollenhoven.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Daryl B.D. Walsh.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Anne Elizabeth Balthausen.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
The degree of Bachelor of Arts Honors on Darlene Anne Rosemarie Gaudet in English.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with honors.
The degree of Bachelor of Science on Kelly Leanne Adams.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science with all the rights and privileges and responsibilities of that degree.
Darlene Patricia Collins.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science. Congratulations.
Krista Kim Johnson.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science.
Shi Fui Chi.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science.
Catherine Ann Wade.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science. Congratulations.
The degree of Bachelor of Science Honors with First Class Honors in Psychology on Elizabeth W. McGinnis.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science.
Your Grace, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates for the Collegiate Honours of Graduation. I attest that they have successfully completed the required courses of study, and I ask that they be admitted to the baccalaureate degree. Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration on Wei Roy Banfield.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration with all the rights and privileges and responsibilities of that degree.
On Gail Marie Barrett.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration.
On Tammy Marie Hines with Cooperative Education option.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration.
On Sok Han Lau.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration.
On Shelley Pettigrew with Cooperative Education option.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration.
The degree of Bachelor of Child Study on Janice May Foote.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Child Study with all the rights and privileges and responsibilities of that degree.
On Linda Sharon MacDonald.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Child Studies.
On Jane Catherine Woods.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Child Studies.
The degree of Bachelor of Home Economics on Eileen Nearing Hall.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Home Economics with all the rights and privileges and responsibilities of that degree.
The degree of Bachelor of Science in Home Economics on Darlene Mary Hurst.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science in Home Economics with all the rights and privileges and responsibilities of that degree. Congratulations.
On Anne Thurgood with distinction.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science in Home Economics.
The degree of Bachelor of Public Relations on Michelle Catherine Campbell.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. You seem to have a lot of public relations.
On Ellen Cantley.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Michelle Claire Cormier.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Scott Harold DeWare.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Mary Duffley.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Eduardo Martin Espejo with Co-op Education option.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
On Anne Margaret Hanrahan.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Laurie Jean Howlett.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Timothy John Eiler.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Kevin Darrell Kenny.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Jean Marie McKinnon.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
David Francis McNeil.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations.
Cindy Teresa Moss.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Sue Ellen Janet Murray with distinction and cooperative education option.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Angela Poirier with cooperative education option.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Judith Lynn Shears with distinction and with the highest aggregate.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Julie Muriel Thompson.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Joan Elizabeth Vickery.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
The degree of Bachelor of Secretarial Arts on Constance Henry.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Secretarial Arts with all the rights and privileges of that degree.
Christine Juanitha Latta.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Secretarial Arts.
Valerie Ann McManus.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Secretarial Arts.
Valerie Jane Ryan.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Secretarial Arts.
Mavis Helene Webster.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Secretarial Arts.
the degree of Bachelor of Education in association with Nova Scotia Teachers College on William Arnold Hiltz.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Education in association with the Nova Scotia Teachers College, with all the rights and privileges and responsibilities of that degree.
The degree of Bachelor of Education on Anne-Louise Hines with distinction.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Education.
Suzanne Mary LeBlanc.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Education.
Sydney Ruth Myatt, who also receives the Bachelor of Arts degree today.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Education.
Greer Lynn Robbins, who also receives the Bachelor of Arts degree.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Education.
Your Grace, I attest that the following students have successfully completed the required courses of study, and I ask that they be admitted to the master's degree. Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Master of Education on Sheila Beattie.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Master of Education with all the rights and privileges and responsibilities of that degree.
On Sylvia Butt.
I admit you to the degree of Master of Education.
On Margaret Elizabeth MacLeod.
I admit you to the degree of Master of Education.
On Linda Perry.
I admit you to the degree of Master of Education.
Sandra June Porteous.
I admit you to the degree of Master of Education.
Doreen Mary Rowe.
I admit you to the degree of Master of Education.
In addition, we confer the appropriate degrees on all those not present today whose names are listed in the program.
I confer degrees in absentia on those persons who have been designated by the Dean. Your Honor, Dr. Hersom, Mr. Minister, honored guests, members of the Board of Governors, Senate, faculty, students, graduates, parents, and friends. I simply wish to add my own words of congratulation to Dr. Hersom on the occasion of her installation as President of Mount St. Vincent University. We are confident that the Mount is entering into a new stage and a new phase of growth and development that will continue the fine heritage that this university already possesses. In addition to my own congratulations, I have some telegrams here offering congratulations on this occasion. One from Dr. E. Margaret Fulton, who sends affectionate regards and warm congratulations to Dr. Hersom as she undertakes her duties as president of Mount St. Vincent. Another that reads, "Congratulations on your installation as president of Mount St. Vincent University. We wish you a happy and successful association with the Mount." Signed, the alumni in Saskatchewan. And a third that says, from British Columbia, "Dear Naomi, congratulations from members of Alpha Province, Canada. We are so proud of your well-deserved honor. Best wishes." And signed, Beth Prehitka. I also have a duty to perform to invite you to a reception in the multi-purpose room in Rosaria Center immediately following Convocation, and to invite you to the official opening this evening of the exhibit In Her Place. The opening will be by Dr. Hersom, and will present Changing Images of Women in Western Society. This opening of the art exhibition will take place in the university's art gallery at 8 o'clock this evening, and everyone is invited. And now, having placed the university so firmly in the competent hands of Dr. Hersom, the new president and vice-chancellor, I declare this convocation closed.